Hi, Kevin here. Welcome to my kitchen. I don't know about you, but during this pandemic, I'm finding a lot of comfort in baking breads. Today, I'm going to make English muffins, and I actually made a batch last night. Here they are, and believe me, they are better than anything you can find at the supermarket. They split beautifully, they're loaded with nooks and crannies, they toast up perfectly, they're great for sandwiches, great for what's called eggs Benedict. They're great for just eating, and they're really easy to make. Here's the recipe. Now, in a large bowl, add 1 cup of warm water. That's about 105 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Then add a ½ cup of whole milk, also heated to 105 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Then add some active dry yeast. You need 2 1/4 teaspoons of it. 1. We're just going to sprinkle this directly on top of the milk and water. There's 2. And 1/4. You can use instant yeast for this recipe, but do not use rapid rise yeast. And we're going to give this let's see, I want my whisk. I'm going to whisk that together. And I already know that my yeast is fresh and good, so I don't have to proof it. So we can move right along and add the flour. 2 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour. I suppose bread flour would work just as well, if that's what you have. And then we need to stir this 100 times in the same direction. And while I'm stirring, let me remind you that if you are having trouble finding flour and yeast, well, be sure to watch the video I made yesterday. Because I found bulk yeast and bulk flour at really bargain basement prices from a Mennonite general store. And I gave you the phone number for mail order delivery. So my advice is to just go ahead and order the yeast and the flour. Anybody keeping track on how many times I've stirred this? I'm going to say that's about 40 times. And I am using a stout wooden spatula. You could use a stout spoon. And you'll see this is no harder to make than a pancake batter. And if you look closely, you'll see that the strands of gluten are already developing. Okay, I'm going to ask this question again. Anybody remember how many times I've stirred? We'll say that's about 70. And that's 80. Try to go faster. 90. And 100! Yay! You grab a knife. Going to scrape off this sticky dough, or actually it's a batter. And then you have to cover this with plastic wrap. And I'm going to put this in a warm location until the batter becomes bubbly and doubles in volume. And since we're talking about a warm location, let me show you what I use. I use if I can get you set up here, and of course you're going to see a reflection of everything in my kitchen. I use the proofing feature on my oven. Here's the proof button, and I'm already proofing, and it heats my oven to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And in goes the batter. This will take, an hour to 90 minutes. I'm going to set my timer for, I'll do it for 60 minutes and then I'll check it. And if you don't have a proofing oven, then you can use a common drugstore heating pad. That's what I used to use before I had this newfangled oven. Common heating pad, you just plug it in, set it to either the low or the medium setting, and it works perfectly fine for proofing breads. If your house is already warm, like around 72 degrees, you don't have to find any warm location. That's really warm enough. You don't need 100 degrees. You need like 72 degrees. But 100 degrees is fine as well. And I will come back when this is ready. All right, only 50 minutes later, and look at this. It has at least doubled in volume. So let's move over here. Yeah, so this is already very bubbly. And now we have to add salt. And for English muffins, you add salt in a rather peculiar way. Take 3 tablespoons of water and add, where's my teaspoon? Here it is. And we're going to add, move this over here so you can see, going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And then I'm going to pop this in the microwave for, 20 seconds, just to warm up the water so that the salt will dissolve. Be right back. Now, can you see that this yeasty flour mixture is really bubbling? It's gurgling. It's definitely alive. Okay, and here's the salt and water. Again, that was 3 tablespoons of water and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And in it goes. And then going to stir this mixture 25 times in the same direction. And let me show you. You see the strands of gluten? Maybe not. The mixture is very stringy, very ropey. And that's the gluten. And it is the gluten that makes bread elastic. So yeah, these English muffins are super simple to make. Really, a kid could make them. Well, if I can make them, anyone can make them. And we are going to call that 25 times. I was talking, so of course I lost track. I think I talk too much. Okay, grab a knife, scrape off the goods. Mustn't waste. Get off there. Okay. And then, once again, cover the bowl. And I'm going to let this double in volume. in the proofing oven. And again, you can use a heating pad or just, ooh, that's nice and close, isn't it? You can use a heating pad, the proofing oven, or just, you know, your own room temperature to proof this. In the oven, it's going to take probably 45 minutes or so. We'll be back. All right, our batter is almost finished rising. So let me show you what you will need for the next step. And this is for baking the English muffins. You will need English muffin rings. I have 6 of them that I bought about 16 years ago. And they are cheap, cheap, cheap. You can buy them today on Amazon. I bought mine from a kitchen supply store. Amazon has something similar. And let's measure these. So my rings are 3.5 inches wide by 1.5 inches deep. And again, your rings don't have to be exact, just similar, okay? And then you will need a skillet, and you can use, you know, cast iron skillet, or this is an all-clad skillet, and you will also need a lid. If you're using skillet, you could probably do 4 muffins at a time. I like to use my electric skillet because I can fit all 6 rings in it. So that I can cook 6 muffins at a time. All right, and then you want to heat the skillet over medium-low heat, or if you're using an electric skillet, heat it to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. See you in a sec. Okay, we are ready to bake. Here's the batter. Get you down here. And my skillet is already heated to 300 degrees. So now, let me move the camera over here. Sorry, don't mean to make you dizzy. So then, need to grease the rings. And as you can see, I'm just using ordinary old vegetable spray. And then I need a ladle and a spoon, just in case. I'm going to scoop up about a half cup. Here it is. It goes into the ring. You only want to fill these rings about halfway. You need a little more batter in there. It's a very sticky, stringy batter. You will get very good at making these after you've made them just one time. And believe me, once you've made your own English muffins, you will never go back to Thomas's or any other store-bought brand. The homemade muffins have a flavor that just can't be matched. Here's the last one. And I probably have enough batter left to do, at least 2 more. And then going to cover the skillet and let these cook for 8 minutes. I'll be back. All right, it's been 8 minutes. Now let's have a look. And what you do is take tongs, pull off the rings, and the rings will come right off because we grease them. And then we need to flip the muffins over. Oh, they look good. Oh, I forgot one of the rings. And these look nice and spotty brown, and that's exactly what you want. And then we're going to let these cook on the other side for just 4 minutes, covered. 4 minutes later, let's have a look. Oh yeah, these are done. Nice and spotty brown on each side. And then these go onto a wire rack to cool to room temperature. Here they are. And then I'm going to remove these little bits of batter. And then let's see. I think I can get, I might even be able to do 3 more of these for you. Let's see. I'll make these maybe a little taller. Oh, I forgot to grease them. And again, you do not have to use an electric skillet for English muffins. You can use a cast iron skillet, or an all-clad skillet, or a non-stick skillet, whatever you happen to have in your own kitchen. Yeah, I think I can eke out a 3rd muffin. Okay, there's the lid. I'll finish these off, come back, and then we can have a taste. Okay, so I got a total of 9 muffins out of that batch. And let's have a look. They are, browned and beautiful. Let me show you how to split an English muffin. Now, you never want to cut an English muffin in half with a knife because that will muck up, that's muck with an M, the nooks and crannies. You'll compress them. So you take a fork and go all along the edge, just piercing the muffin. This is one of the muffins that I made last night. And then split. Like so. Check out all those nooks and crannies that will hold an ungodly amount of melted butter. Okay, I'm going to toast this, and then we can have a taste. Okay, a little butter. And I want you to see how the butter is just melting into this toasted muffin. And then some raspberry jam. Taste. Exquisite. Sorry, I hope I don't have butter and jam all over my chin. And I wanted to mention that once you've had your own homemade English muffins, you will never go back to store-bought. The homemade muffins are chewy and yeasty and, well, they have flavor. And as you've just seen, they are super simple to make. So I hope you'll make yourself a batch someday. And if you enjoy the content on this YouTube channel, I hope you'll take a moment to subscribe and be sure to tap the little bell icon so that you can receive notifications every time I upload a new video. Let's see, was there anything else I wanted to say? Oh yes, I hope you're taking very good care of yourself, and thank you for spending time with me today. I'll see you next time with another delicious recipe. Bye for now.